Well, welcome back. Another day working on my C-cab project in this Chevy 235 straight six. If you followed along in the last episode, I believe it was number 33, I'm not sure. I had a lot of questions about the bearing clearances. I measured everything and we plastic gauge it, and it seemed like it was a little too tight. And I talked to the machinist about it. And basically what he said is it's a 1955 block. He said the machining tolerances weren't that good back then. All four of these main bearings here are different sizes, so you can't even line bore the whole thing, you know, if you wanted to run it. He said plus the fact that there's only so many people making bearings for this motor, being so old, and it's not, you know, that's still that popular of an engine. So he said he would just put it back together if it was running good and the bearings look good, the crank looks good. And I'll show you right here, the cranks looks nice. There's not a scratch on any one of them. You know, they looked really good. So he suggests just put it back together, put the shims back under the way it was and run it. But what I think I'm gonna do is put the crank back in it. We'll put the caps back on it. I'll put the shims underneath it like it was when I tore it apart. And we'll plastic gauge it with the shims just to see where we stand with the clearance. But let me see if I can get the crank back in it. Well, next thing I'm gonna do is put the crank back in, get some assembly lube, and I'll drop it in. I had to move everything over here to my other bay. You can see here, I had a job come in. We needed the lift, so we had to move everything. I need to get this thing back together. It's taken up. I got my tire changer's got stuff on it all here. My table's this table's full of frames sitting here. I need to get this stuff out of here and make some room. Well, I tried it again, as you can see, with the shims in it. I don't know if you can see the plastic gauge or not, but it got better. A couple of them, like this one's okay, this one's too thin. This one's about 1/1000 clearance. This has got about 1.5 thousandths. This one actually come out pretty good. That's got 2000s, but I'd like to get it around 3000s. What I did though, I went online to see if I can get a new shim kit for it, and there's people selling the shim kit which are cut out identical to these shims here. Look, you know, they look identical to it. But I noticed on the ones on the internet, 2 of the shims were 10,000 and the other 6 shims were all 8,000s. Now I mic'd all of these shims and every one of these is 5,000s. I don't know if that's what it compressed to, or if you know, if it was 5,000s when it started out. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to order the shim kit online. Like I said, it look identical to these, and if these are 5 and the ones I'm getting are 10 and 8, that should be perfect, right where I need to be. So I'll go ahead and get those ordered, and we'll see where we go from there. Well, I've been waiting for the last couple of days. This shim kit that I ordered came in. When I ordered it online, it said that they were like 10,000, 8,000, I think 5,000s for different thicknesses. But when I mic'd them here, I got 10,000s on these 2 and 9,000s on all of these. So it's about 4,000s thicker than what I had. These here, every one of these measured 5,000ths of an inch. So that should give me the clearance, because right now I'm still at about 0.5 thousandths to 1.5 thousandths where it plastic gauge now. So let me get, what I'll do is clean up the plastic gauge that's on here from the last one, take these shims out, we'll replace it with these shims right here. I'll plastic gauge it one more time and see where we're at. Well, I got the caps and the journals all cleaned off. I don't know if you can see it, but there, I got the piece of plastic gauge right there. I got all the new shims on. Each one's got some plastic gauge, and I'll get ready. We'll put the caps on, torque it back down, and we'll see what we got. Well, it turned out a lot better this time. I think we're good. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but this one here is right at 3,000ths. This one's about 3,000ths. I got about 3,000ths on this one. And this one I got to redo. When I put the cap on, the plastic gauge fell down the side. So I'm going to redo this one real quick. But these here all look good at 3,000, so I think I'm going to leave it and we're going to go with it. Well, another day working on my C-cab project. For those of people that have been following along, following the build, I had to take a few weeks off because I had surgery done on my hand. You can see here, it's healed up pretty good. I got a little bit about the finger. I got to be careful, but it's good enough. I got movement in it that we can start working. So I got a lot happened in the past 3 weeks. One of the things was, I don't know if Yeah, like I said, if you've been following along, I sent this rear down to Buzzy's Racing in Mooresville. It has a bend in it, and they were going to try to bend it back, but he heated it and tried and tried and tried, and he says he couldn't get it straight. He thought it's bent, not where we welded the brackets on. He thinks it's bent here, coming out of the tubes. If you look at it, it's got a bow in it. So it might have been bent when I got it. I'm not sure, but I found another one. I'm waiting to go pick it up, and then I'll make a video about working on that. And also this past week, I went and picked up the bearings for the rotors. So I got to pack the bearings and put the races back in, and we'll get started on, putting this front end back together. But today, what I'm going to do is work on putting the crank in. I started this video about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I finally got all the shims right, got the clearances right, and what I've been having a problem with is that rope seal in the back. I've never put one in. I mean, I read the instructions, and I packed it in there as tight as I could pack it in there. And every time I go to put the cap on it, it locks the crank up. It's too tight. So I went on YouTube, watched some videos, how to put in a rope seal. Apparently everybody's got their own opinion on how to put it in, but one thing everybody does is take a mandrel or a piece of round stock and a hammer and taps the seal in with the hammer. That's how tight it has to be in there. And then feel it when you spin the crank, how tight it is or loose it is. Now, if you tap it in too far, it's going to leak. It won't seal. So there's a fine line between too loose and too tight. So anyway, I'm going to get the camera set up. I got to take the crank back out, and we'll go ahead and tap in the seal, and we'll go from there. Let me see if I can get the cap back off. Well, I messed with it for a while. I beat on it and got it all packed in there. And then when you go to try to trim the ends, this is a Kevlar, I think, made of the material. Even a razor blade won't cut it. I brand new razor blade and I couldn't trim it. I ended up using a pair of diagonal cutters, and you can see how it messes up the end with the diagonal cut. Won't cut it straight. So anyway, I'm sure there's other ways to do it, but I decided to just go ahead and put a newer style rubber seal in it. I went and picked up one here. So let me get the seal in the cap, and then we'll go ahead and put it back together and see how it does. It's a little snug, but to turn it over by hand, so I think it's good. I'll get the torque wrench, we'll torque it down, test it one more time, make sure it spins, and I think we got it. Well, I started this video about putting the crank in about a month ago, and because of my hand surgery got delayed. We finally got it finished. So I think I'm gonna end this one here. Hopefully things are gonna pick up real soon. I got a lot of waiting to do. So anyway, I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comments, questions, suggestions, always welcome. And hopefully we'll see you here soon in the next video.